It works well for us as a family, and I don't have to give up work to make it work. So I still have my independence. I still have my me time now and then. And we still have family time, and I still have me and Reggie time. So it's perfect. It's like we've really got a really nice balance. It works well for us.
Welcome to Mama's Flight Path. I'm Jules Tyra, and I'm so grateful you have tuned in today as we navigate the thrills and the turbulence of transitioning to work as a mama with clarity and purpose. Because this isn't about going back, it's about taking off. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Jules. All right?
Yeah, it's so lovely to have you here on Mama's Flight Path, Gary. And for those who are listening, Gary and I actually did used to fly together, and Gary still flies and has, in the meantime, adopted a lovely little boy, Reggie. And I just thought this would be a really beautiful conversation to have about how you've gone through all of that transitions of adopting and keeping your role as crew, which I know many people struggle with once they have a little one come into their life. And then, you know, as formerly being crew, that's such a big part of our identity.
Yeah.
So tell us, Gary, what was the moment where you thought, I'm just going to completely throw our worlds upside down and adopt?
Well, it started a long time ago when, because me and my partner Keith have been together 9 years, and even on our first date, I said to him, "Do you want kids?" Because I was like, "I'm getting older. I'm not messing about anymore." And he's on the same page as me, so it all went well. And we lived together for a few years, and we actually considered doing surrogacy, and we did pursue that. But sadly, my best friend, who was going to be our surrogate, was unable to do it in the end after testing. And then we actually decided that we would look at adoption. And we were living in a one-bedroom flat, and they wouldn't even consider even letting us start the process until we had a spare room.
Okay.
So we had to wait. We had to buy our house, which we're now in now. So once we had that spare room, they allowed us to apply, and then they would assess us and then here we are today. So we wanted to have a child, whether it was through surrogacy or adoption. It didn't matter to us. We knew that whatever child came to us, we'd love them as much as it's our own biological child or not. We just wanted to be dad so much. Like, I craved it so much it hurt. I just wanted to be a dad.
How do you mind me asking the questions of how that was, Gary? Like, with you both being two dads, how was that process from the side of like the adoption agency? How was that received?
It's as if any other straight couple were applying. It didn't matter at all. It's very different these days. Like, you can be a single gay man and still apply for adoption. It makes no difference at all, as long as you're able to give a child a great home and look after them and nurture them. Then it doesn't matter who you love. So it was absolutely fine when me and Keith applied. We started our process, our stage 1 and stage 2. There was 2 other gay couples in the group with us. So there was more gay couples in our group than there were straight couples. So
that's so reassuring to hear, isn't it? Because when you became a dad, so when you brought Reggie home, did your sense of purpose change in any way?
I mean, I felt complete. I felt like I was whole. Like, it was like missing from my life before I had Reggie, and it's all I wanted. There was nothing else in my life that I wanted. Like, okay, you could have a nice house and nice car and all that, and have holidays and stuff, but I wanted a child that I could bring up and I could mold into someone amazing, and that was my purpose in life. I just knew that I wouldn't be complete if I wasn't a parent at some point in my life. It's what I've always wanted. Yeah. I'm hugging this one now. I think
You're other little baby.
it's my other little baby. It's my firstborn.
Oh. So it sounds to me, Gary, like you just had this jigsaw piece that was missing.
Yeah.
And then having Reggie has kind of filled that jigsaw.
Absolutely, yeah. All my friends were having kids, and I was always Uncle Gary to all of them. And then it's like I just didn't have that piece myself, and now I have that. It's yeah, life is complete now, definitely.
Do you think you'll have any more?
When we started the process, we said that we wanted to have two. We'd love to have a boy and a girl. That really would be life complete. But after having Reggie, that's the craving I had to be a parent is now been filled now, and I'm more than content with Reggie. Um, we have said that we're not going to open ourselves up to another adoption with another family. So if Reggie's mum were to get pregnant again and we were asked to have the child, then we would definitely consider it. But otherwise, we're not going to have any more children unless that's what happens, and it means keeping a sibling with us.
Okay. So that they'd be together as
Yeah,
siblings.
yeah,
Yeah. So that sounds like you have contact still with
yeah,
Reggie's mum.
yeah. He's got four siblings. He's got an older brother who's 17, and then he's got three sisters who are 16, 9, and 6. Reggie turns 3 this year. Yeah, we try and get together and see them at least 3 times a year. And then once a year, we allow his mum to come along to one of those contact visits. So the last one was in December. We take them out bowling. We go to Mega Bowl and meet up there in Maidstone, and we take them bowling, take them to the arcades, buy them lunch. We treat them. They look forward to it every time we plan the next one, and that's our little treat and what we do for them. We love it. They love seeing Reggie. We love seeing them, and it's just really nice. And as Reggie grows up, he'll start to understand that they are his brothers and sisters, and we'll be able to explain to him everyone's situation as he gets old enough to understand it.
Yeah, definitely. And hearing you talk about all of that, Gary, it actually sounds quite emotionally demanding.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of emotion in there, a lot of people, and a lot of
Mm.
other people's emotions. How does that impact you?
I've always found it really difficult when it comes to seeing his birth mother, because I find it really hard to, like, when I'm writing a card for Christmas, I find it really hard to write in to mum from Reggie. So for the first couple of years, I just left it blank. I just wrote in big letters, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, love Reggie. But then over time, I'm finding it better now, and I do put her name and mum. I hope that she would keep these cards, and then maybe she can show Reggie down the line. But I'm getting better at it as time goes by. Because in the early days, I was worried about losing him
Gary, I can feel that.
because we actually weren't his adopted parents from day one. We were his foster carers. So for the first 6 months, he wasn't ours. We were just looking after him while they finalised the whole process, and they were still trying to find a birth dad, and they were doing DNA tests and all sorts. So nothing was certain until about 6 months after we actually got him. So there was times when I was worried that we weren't going to keep him and we are going to lose him, and yeah, it was very, very emotional time.
I can just like as a mum myself, like that feeling of 6 months. That's a really long time of not knowing
Yeah,
what's going to happen. And
yeah.
how, like, did you have any tools that helped you through that?
Um, well, I mean, we had our social worker who was dedicated to our case and what was going on. So we had people who we could go to for support and ask questions. There were support groups, so other other people who were adopting or in the foster care scheme, like, because we were in a scheme called Early Permanence, which is quite a new thing where it's you foster to adopt. So children who are being born and they are pretty much certain to be adopted, rather than going to a foster family and then being adopted by another family, they just stay where they are. So it's a higher chance of you being able to get a newborn baby and then become your child. So we liked that idea because we really wanted a baby, but you don't get a newborn baby adopted. There's always a big process involved. Sometimes it takes years to finalise a child's plan for their future. Ours was actually pretty straightforward. And in fact, he was fully adopted before his first birthday, which is a record in the adoption agency we were with. They said they've never had that ever, that a child's been
Wow.
adopted before their first birthday. So we were very lucky, but there were definitely roller coasters throughout that journey. Like I say, with the possible dad being thrown out there with a DNA test, waiting for those results. So there was definitely definite ups and downs. But his mother, because she knew she wasn't going to be able to have him, we did everything we could to make sure that she was kept up to date with his progress. We would write in a book, and every visit that she had with him every week, she would read the book and then write back to us. I'd give her pictures, so I printed out all those pictures and stuff. And when it came to the actual court case with Reggie, she wrote a letter to the judge saying that if he's to be adopted by anyone, I want it to be Keith and Gary. So that was lovely. So she
So she
had our
was
support as
supporting that.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she supported us being his parents as well,
And
which
do
was
you
lovely.
think that was because you'd really built that relationship and that trust with her?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because even now, we don't have her phone number and she doesn't have ours, but I'm in contact with her sister, and her sister has the two youngest girls.
Right. Okay.
The two eldest children are in long-term foster care, but the younger two are with the auntie, and I will send her WhatsApp pictures and videos ready to pass on to her. And whenever we get together for the sibling contact meetups, I always have a whole pack of photographs which I print out for all the kids to each have and for her to have. So she's got thousands of photographs given to her over the years. So
So beautiful.
so she's definitely kept in the loop with his life.
Do you, Gary, hold no judgment about how Reggie has come to you? Like, how have you managed to keep that really great relationship with his mum and all those siblings with all of that fear that you had going on in there around
No,
how she has been a mother?
I understand people have addictions and different problems in their lives, and these things happen. And if it wasn't for people in the adoption world, like, these children wouldn't have nowhere to go. So like I don't I don't feel bad about where her life's taken her and why her children are in care. Reggie's one of the lucky ones out of this family because he never ever had to go through that other than in the womb. But we're very lucky that he was absolutely perfect and there was no concerns whatsoever for him. So we were very lucky. But the other children, they've gone through some tough times, but they're all doing amazing now, which is just great. And it feels good that they're all a lot happier now and they're safe and they're in a better place. And Reggie's going to have the best life with us, knowing that he'll never get to experience that.
Yeah. And I can, imagine from her side, she must equally be really grateful. The fact that she wrote that letter to the judge, that he's found such a beautiful home with you and Keith.
Yeah.
And I heard you talking there, lots of emotions around actually being quite fearful of him being taken away, but also like that relationship that will always be his mum. But you've not shied away or feared from that. Like, you're keeping that going, which I think is a
Yeah.
real credit to you and must carry some real emotional burden as well.
Yeah. Everything we do is with him in mind. I'm not going to be selfish in this and be like, well, no, you don't have a mum anymore because you're with us. He still has a mum and he will get to see her every year. And as he gets older, if he wants to see her more regularly, we'll support that. And we just don't want him to grow up and say, you hid things from me.
Mm.
We want him to know that we're completely open to everything. He's going to get to know his life story. We've got a whole book which explains everything, his entire family, his brothers and sisters and his mum, and the whole situation leading up to him coming to us and the reason why he came to us. It's a beautiful book. It's really nice and it's emotional to read through even for an outside party. Like, we've let friends read it, and they've all cried reading it. It is a really sad story, but a happy ending for everyone. So it's nice that all of them are doing well, and Reggie's going to do great, and he's doing amazing. Makes us proud and amazes us every day what he does. It's brilliant.
Gary, what's the most emotional thing that's in his book? What triggers people to cry?
Well, a lot of it is reading what his siblings went through before they were taken away, because they were only taken away from their mother while she was pregnant with Reggie. So they've spent their entire lives with her. I don't know how long actually it started to get bad, but there was probably a good for 3, 4, or 5 years of stuff going on, which wasn't ideal for children. I know that she had support to change things, improve, make things better, and sadly she couldn't. And that's why they're all now in care and being looked after by family members and foster parents. Yeah, it's and then the other emotional bit in the book is the bit about us coming along in his book, and what we did for him in the early days, looking after him, and then being able to be his parents. It's really nice because it goes right up until the point of adoption in this book. It's lovely because it was presented to us at the court hearing, and it was on Father's Day when we actually got the final sign off. Was actually Father's Day. Yeah, there's a lot of coincidences in this whole process that I can talk to you about. It's very it's quite amazing, really, when I talk about it to people.
It sounds like it was meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely meant to be. He was meant for us because he was born on my partner's dad's birthday. He passed away early that year. We then had the approval from the unanimous yes from the panel to say that we can be his adopted parents on my dad's birthday, who passed away 15 years ago. And it's also the same day that me and Keith met. So it's our anniversary as well. It's so the 13th of February is a very poignant date in my life for many reasons.
Yeah, loads. What did you do this year to celebrate that?
We had a weekend away in the Cotswolds, and just had a lovely time because it's everything. It's a celebration of us being able to adopt. See, Father's Day is the day that we officially adopted him, but our anniversary is the day when we were told we were allowed to adopt him, from being foster parents to being adopted parents. So we celebrate our anniversary separate to his adoption day. But so Father's Day we spend as a family and do it together. Nice.
Oh,
Because that's when we officially became a family.
there must have been days where you had quite dark. There must have been like some dark days there. You've already shared like how the worry of him being taken away, not knowing if you were going to be able to adopt him. Were there tools or things that you did to help you get through those darker days?
I mean, all I could really do was just speak to my social worker regularly to just get an update on what was going on. But my family and friends, just being around all them and just praying and hoping that the result was what we wanted, because we had no control over it. It was literally a matter of, if this DNA result comes back positive, this man wanted to be assessed to be his full-time carer, and if that had all gone through, then we wouldn't have Reggie today. But it turned out that he wasn't the biological father, and that was it. So I had 2 weeks of, oh my god, I'm going to lose him, crying every night, going to sleep, waking up crying because I'd woken up thinking, oh my god, is he still with us?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I didn't sleep for weeks because he was laying in the crib next to me, and I would just like lay there awake looking at him, thinking, I can't lose you.
That makes me feel really emotional. And how did that impact like how you wanted to show up for him? Because obviously you're being, not really getting any sleep, feeling really emotional, obviously like the
We
tears.
were we were very very lucky that um, I took off for 13 months from work. I took off all that time from Virgin, and my partner works for a very good company that allows men and women to take off 6 months fully paid. So we were both off for 6 months from the day we got him, so we could support each other through everything. And then when I would go, Keith, I'm on a two today. Can you pick up the slack? That kind of thing, and he would, and then so we always had each other's back, and we could definitely support each other through all of that. And then by the end of that time, by the time he was due to go back to work, we'd already been approved to be his adopted parents. So it was just kind of like, it's good now. We can just relax and start enjoying life now, and really start making memories that we're always going to be together now.
That must have just been the biggest
Yeah,
weight off your shoulders.
it really was.
But let's just go rewind there, Gary. A couple of things. Like, how amazing that you both had 6 months off.
So lucky. So I know most just have like 2 weeks off and you're back to work and then you're on your own kind of thing. Yeah, I know we're very, very lucky.
How would you have you and Keith been if you'd have had to have gone back after 2 weeks?
I don't know how I would have coped. I don't know. I don't know how people do cope when they're just on their own after 2 weeks. It's insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Absolutely exhausting. Because like if your partner's going back to work, you have to make sure that they get enough sleep so they can go to work. But then you're exhausted because you're up in the night with the baby, and then you've got them all day. It's it's like I don't know where you find that balance, but we were so lucky we were able to share that whole first 6 months and form those bonds and pick up the slack when we needed to from each other. We were incredibly lucky.
Yeah, I think that would be just incredible for more businesses and companies to allow that. And I've
Absolutely.
seen the difference of, couples together having that time. Like you talked there about the bond. That's really important. And then equally, I loved how you were sharing about how you and Keith would number it. So if I'm a two today, you're going to have to pick up, and being able to communicate and share that with each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true.
If
Yeah.
you did have to go back to work flying as crew 2 weeks after, how do you think the bond between the family unit would have been different?
Oh God, it was always going to be. We always had a plan in our head that Keith's the breadwinner. He makes the money. My job is flexible enough for me to go part time, and we were in a comfortable situation in our life where money's okay. Keith earns good money. I've got flexibility to change things around and go part time, and it just worked for us. But if it's other way around, and I had to go flying full time after 2 weeks, I don't know how we would have been able to cope. I don't think we would have survived if I was honest. Because being away for all that time from a very young age, you don't get those moments. I don't think you get enough time to have that bond with the child. But I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it's just the experience I had is just being with him every day and literally living through every punami and all the every experience that you can think of. We both had that. We both experienced absolutely everything and coped with everything. So we both understand what it's like, and you kind of appreciate. So when he went back to work, he could appreciate what I was going through each day. It's like, I know you've had him all day. I'll do bath time tonight. You just put your feet up and watch some TV while I do that kind of thing. And we still do that today.
I think you're right. Being able to know how it feels, so he can now really empathise with you when you've had a whole Reggie day. Because however much we love them, it's don't know about you, Gary, but I can still find like a whole day quite intense,
Yeah, yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, he's getting easier now. He's getting older, but yeah, just trying to keep a toddler entertained from morning till evening is tough.
What's your favourite thing that you do to keep Reggie entertained?
Well, because I always have him on a Wednesday and Thursday. Those days are blocked from my roster. They can't put anything in there, so they're our days, Daddy and Reggie's days. And on a Wednesday, we will go. Lately, we've been taken to the farm, petting zoo in the morning. Then we meet Nanny at the Biggin Hill Airport for lunch, and you go do some plane spotting. So the day is normally filled up, going different places, and we'll pop to B&Q and we'll go to Sainsbury's, and we rarely stop. So I find it more exhausting sitting in the lounge playing Play-Doh. I'm like, oh, it's like I just rather get out in the air and the sunshine and do something as much as possible. And then on Thursdays, we have swimming lessons, and then we get together with my friend and her little boy, and we go to soft play or whatever. And again, another busy day, and it makes the day go quick by doing stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. Completely the same. And but then come bath and bed, you are exhausted, aren't you? Because you've just been on the go like
Yeah,
all day. But it is nice to kind of get out and do stuff with
but
them.
yeah,
So you touched on something there, Gary, that I'd like to go to. Your roster is blocked on 2 days. If somebody wanted to fly and have a family, is that in the realms of possibility?
absolutely. It works perfectly for us because I went part time when I came back flying. So I mean, it's probably different for different airlines, but I'm on the red contract, which is 52%. I work 10 days. I always have Wednesday and Thursdays blocked on a flexible working agreement.
Amazing.
So I know that whenever I get my roster, I know that the flights are going to be between Friday and Tuesday, which works perfectly for us because Reggie's in nursery on Fridays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, and Keith doesn't work weekends. So we know that we're always going to have someone with him. He's either going to be in nursery or he's going to be at home with Keith. So it works perfectly. So I'm going away next Friday until Monday, but that's fine because Keith can pick him up from nursery on Friday, hasn't weekend, drop him off to nursery on Monday, and then I'm home pick him up. And it works absolutely perfectly.
I just think that's amazing that they're so accommodating. It's not amazing at all. Companies should be, but it's good and refreshing to hear that they're accommodating with flexible working.
Hmm.
Because if there was no flexible working in there, you don't know when you're going to be flying or
No,
what.
yeah, and you just can't
How
plan childcare and stuff. I know some people really struggled until they brought that in. And I would struggle too because like there's no point in us putting him in full time care financially. It's not worth us doing that. But also, I want the me days with him. I don't want him to be in every single day. I enjoy my Wednesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, if they didn't have that put in place, I would struggle because, like I say, he doesn't have any childcare on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Keith works. My mum's not retired yet. Like people just struggle. I've looked after my friend's little boy because she's been flying, her husband's been working. There's no one to look after them.
Yeah, what do you do? And like you say, you don't want to spend all that money on childcare. Like it's
It's better off
you
not going to work.
can. Yeah. So is that a recent thing that's been brought in, that flexible?
I don't know how recent, but I know it was an option that was presented to me when I came back to work because I spoke to my manager and I said that, you know, I just don't have any childcare on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know what to do because I was given my return to work training course, and it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do? I can't do it. But we made it work with friends helping out and my mum and stuff. And so I got through that 3 days of training. But yeah, it was then I was like, my manager said, oh, well, there's a thing called flexible working where you can submit your request to have certain days off, and then we talk about it. And if it works for the company and you, then we can approve it. And luckily, it was approved.
Yeah, really lucky because there are people out there that don't get their flexible working approved. And I just think it
Yeah,
makes it so hard. Like we're
yeah,
raising the next generation. We can't do it
yeah,
all.
yeah.
But, Gary, it feel like that you've got this really great enrichment from work and being a dad.
Yeah, we've got a really good balance. It works well for us as a family, and I don't have to give up work to make it work. So I still have my independence. I still have my me time now and then, and we still have family time, and I still have me and Reggie time. So it's perfect. It's like we've really got a really nice balance. It works well for us.
Yeah, really nice. And when you go away on those weekends, so you said there that you're going away Friday, do you leave with any like guilt or any like, because obviously you're going away for a few nights, you're getting away from it all, like see you, Keith.
No, to be perfectly honest, no, I don't get any guilt. I love him to bits, and I miss him when I'm away. But I know he's with his other daddy and have a great time. And I always try and make sure I've made plans for them to do stuff. So I'll book them into soft play, or I'll book them to go swimming or something like that. They do stuff, which is nice. So they get their time, which they wouldn't get if I was never away. So it's good for him and it's good for us. So, but I need it. I feel like it makes me a better parent because I get that break to recharge and to get back to being me again for a couple of days, and then I come back and I enjoy my days with him, and I can give him 1,000% of everything that he needs.
I'm in awe of your mindset, complete in awe of it, because I think there is this expectation, and this is how I felt, was that, you know, as the main carer, I needed to be there all the time and I need to do things. And then when I did do things, or even now if I do things, I've got better, I have got better. But doing things for myself felt really like I almost shouldn't be doing them. I think it was the guilt. It was kind of the guilt of doing it. So
You
just
felt selfish
hearing,
for looking after yourself.
yeah, but like you said, you actually come back as such a better person, a better parent, because you've had that break.
You had the recharge, you've had the break that you need to get back to being you again. And then, yeah, I know sometimes you've got to jump back into parent mode as soon as you land, but that's what comes with it. But yeah, it's so important.
Like I'm in awe of this mindset that you've had. Did you feel like this from day one? So when you went back, when you returned to work after 6 months,
I was off 13 months. Keith was off. Keith was off 6 months. I continued off for 13 months total before I returned to work.
gosh, talk me through that. How was that? 13 months off.
Mm,
I've been there flying. It is your identity. It is your life. It is everything, isn't it? Like
yeah,
being crew is everything.
it was tough. It was tough not being away, not having that my usual break here and there. Um, but I loved it. I filled it with every moment I could to make memories with Reggie. And God, if I could show you his photo album that I've created, because I'm quite old fashioned. I like to print out pictures and put them in a
Yeah.
photo album. So I've already filled one that holds 1,000 pictures. It's ridiculous. This is huge. All the things that we've done together in that time, and I'll be able to go back through and show him all that. I loved it. It was hard work, but I had a great time doing it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It was perfect. I loved it.
What was the biggest challenge for you going back after 13 months of not flying and going back as, I hate that word back, it's not going back, like it's going forward, isn't it? Going forward, returning to work as now a dad.
Mm.
What was the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge was to remember everything to actually get through the training course. But it's like riding a bike, isn't it, when you go back to that kind of thing? The biggest challenge family wise was just making sure that what we had in place worked. And like I said, we had all the care. We made this plan way in advance, and we we knew it would work because we had the nursery set up. We had family and friends to support us if we needed them. Yeah, and just Keith doesn't work weekends and stuff. Everything fitted in perfectly. So we didn't have any concerns that it wasn't going to work and we were going to struggle. And we haven't struggled at all. Other than that training course at the very beginning because it was midweek, but we pulled in favours for those 2 days. I had no childcare, so it was absolutely fine.
Yeah. And that sounds like a lot of the logistics. Was there anything inside of you? Like, were there any concerns that you had, like how are you going to carry on keeping in touch with Reggie while you fly?
Yeah. Well, but as he's getting older now, he understands. When I say I'm going to work, he'll say, on the planes? And I'm like, yeah, on the planes. He doesn't understand really what I do on the plane yet, but he knows that I'm on a plane, and he'll point up at the sky sometimes and go, "It's Daddy's plane" or something, and he'll do that. But I knew that obviously technology these days, you've got FaceTime and stuff, and I'd always FaceTime him. I'd plan what time it was at home, like right 6 p.m. He'd be home from nursery. Like let's FaceTime before bath, or I'll get a FaceTime while he's in the bath, and we'll just joke around and stuff. So I get to still see him. We were lucky that we've managed to bring him up to not have any separation anxiety. So he never had that from day one. Like he went into nursery the day after he turned 1, and he was absolutely fine from day one. And as soon as he could walk, he would just walk in and wouldn't even turn around. So like he's always had that very fierce independence, which I love about him. So I knew that when I went back to work, and whenever I go away at weekends, he's not going to worry about me not being there. But then he always says to me when on FaceTime, he's like, "Oh, Daddy, you working?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow," or whatever. He understands. His understanding of things is incredible, and you can explain to him, and he just gets it.
So you going, but that's really interesting that separation anxiety, like when obviously you had that whole amazing 13 months with him where you built up all those really beautiful memories, and then you had to go away and go to work, and you were away, like you weren't coming back even in that evening. You were away for a few nights, and Reggie dealt with that really well.
Yeah, well, because I took off 13 months, and the whole point of that was that I it gave me a month for him to settle into nursery.
Got you.
So he was going in twice a week. He was going in Monday and Friday, and then we upped it to Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So I made sure that in that month he got used to me not being around. And then I would try on a Thursday when my mum was around, I would try and like leave him with her for the day while I went out, just to get him used to me not being around all the time. And grew that over a month or so. And then when I went back to work, um, obviously he was still very young. His understanding wasn't as well back then, but we'd FaceTime and he'd just be fine. I think he just understood, and he just got it. It didn't worry him that I wasn't going to not come back.
Yeah, he just accepted.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something that, I guess it's that kind of nature and nurture, but do you think it's because of your mindset, Gary? Like you were very much like, I needed to go away. I know that was going to make me a better parent. And so it is happening. Do you think there's something in there that the way that you have dealt with it as parents that
Mm,
helped that transition of you returning?
yeah. I mean, I've always been very conscious about what you say around the child or act around a child can really affect them. So I very rarely raise my voice, and I try and make sure that I keep as calm as possible when all situations when he's driving me insane. Because if you don't react to it, he's got fuel his fire. So I find that the way that we have brought him up, and we both do the same way, not always, but we do mostly the same way. Um, it's definitely formed him into this really well-rounded little boy who can regulate his emotions, and yeah, he just gets it. He's just brilliant. I can't big him up enough. He's just fantastic, and I'm so proud of how he's grown into the little boy he is now. Because yeah, because I like this morning, like he'll, right, it's nursery today. No, I want to stay with you today. He's like, no, it's nursery. He's like, I'll tell you what, look, if you get dressed, then maybe we can take dogs for a quick walk, and then I'll drop you off, and then when I get you later on, we can play puzzles. Okay, all right, and that's it. It's diffused, done. So like, I give him something to look forward to when he comes home from nursery. So and he'll remember that. I'll get him in the car, and he'll be like, "We play puzzles." Yeah, absolutely.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from Reggie?
Biggest thing I've learned, I've amazed myself that, because I always had this dream in my head about how I would be a parent. And then you think to yourself, "Oh my god, because I said to my friends before I had a kid, I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, And I've amazed myself that I've actually kept to those promises to myself of how I was going to do things. And even they have said, "Oh my God, how like I didn't think you were going to be able to do that whatsoever. You're gonna crack in a minute and change how you do things." And I didn't. I never broke from what I planned to do from day one, and I think it's worked well. Like
Can you give me an example?
I'm just going to say, try and give an example.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I did break on one thing, and that was the screen time.
Happens to us
But
all.
he has limitation zone. So what things like okay, well I always said that I was going to make sure he has freshly cooked meals always, and he has. Since the day I weaned him, I've cooked fresh meals every single day. That kind of thing. Like back when I'd prep 7 different kinds of meals and put them into ice cube trays, like that kind of prep.
Yeah, that's
And
another level, Gary.
that's another level. That
That's
was like
another level.
that was
That's
very Mother Earth.
amazing.
That was, yeah. But I enjoyed doing it. I had the time to do it because I was at home on my own. And I was like, well, he's napping. I'm going to get in the kitchen and start whipping something up. And I had a cookbook for babies, and I just loved it. It gave me something to do when he wasn't needing my attention.
And I'm curious, Gary, do you think that is because to me, it sounds like you and Keith have got this amazing relationship and your communication between each other is key.
Mm.
And do you think, it's because you two have got that relationship and you're able, he's able to pick up when you're having a low and vice versa, that
Yeah.
you've kind of got that extra energy to maybe do those meals and keep to those things?
Yeah, definitely. Because like we were saying earlier on about picking up the slack when one of you's having a bit of a low day. Like sometimes Keith will come home from work and he's like, "I've had a really rough day," and I'm like, "Okay, just go upstairs, lay on the bed for half an hour, decompress. It's fine. I can crack on. I can do the bath time, and I don't. It's not like you have to do bath time. It's fine. I've had him all day, but I'll continue. It's
Yeah,
no
if
big
you've
deal
still got that.
because I wasn't feeling rough. We've had a good day, so you've not. So you take some time. Um, it's just understanding each other and not resenting each other for anything. It's just if I need some time, I need some time. Just accept that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you think Keith ever gets a bit envious when you're flying off to Vegas for the weekend?
Oh, absolutely. He's like. I was telling him about my roster for April, and he's like, "Oh, it's a hard life, isn't it?"
Do you think
But
he has
yeah,
any
I've
resentment?
only got 2 trips, and I'm off. I'm off for a month then, so don't moan.
Yeah. Do you think Keith has any resentment?
No, I do feel like sometimes he would be like, "Oh, I wish you had a different job where you weren't away all the time." But I'm not away all the time. But in his eyes, I am. Yeah, I think he loves my job because he benefits from it too. Like he's just been to Barbados and he's going to Cape Town soon, and he definitely gets time away, and we're very lucky that we can do that because we've got great friends and family who take Reggie, and he's great with them, so we're able to have that time away.
So you'll go away together.
Yeah, yeah. Keith came away on a 2-night Barbados, Friday to Monday, and Reggie went to our friends, and he had a brilliant time. Like he loves them, and they love him, so it's just like it's perfect. Another example of he has no separation anxiety. Like he's quite content.
I think there's something there though about you and Keith's mindset too in there, right? Like you're both happy to do that because you've built that secure village where you're happy to leave Reggie. You're making the you're making the most out of your career, like your benefits of being cabin crew. So yeah, the thrills are you get to go away, together. And then, the downsides are you have to leave the family for a couple of days. But it sounds like they weigh each other up, like a bit of a yin and yang. It works.
Yeah. Well, because like from a young age, we've always said, "Oh, Daddy's going to work." He understands what work means. Work means you're not going to see them for a little bit, but they come back. So I would say, "Oh, tomorrow." Oh, my battery went then. I'd say to Reggie, "Oh, Daddy's going to work tomorrow." And then the next day he'd be like, "Oh, okay, Daddy's gone to work. Oh yeah, but I'll see him later." And then the same thing happens with me. I'm going to work tomorrow. And he's like, "Okay, but I'll see you soon," kind of thing. And like he knows that I'm going to come back, and he has no issues with it anymore. It's nice.
Amazing. I think. Just want to acknowledge how incredible you and Keith are. Your mindsets are amazing. That has no doubt had impact on how Reggie's been brought up as well, and the way that he is. There is a nature and nurture, isn't there? But you've done some incredible nurturing with him, and I'm sure he's going to grow up loving the perks of you being crew.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Get
God,
him
as
out there on the planes.
soon as he turns left on that plane, I mean, no going back.
Oh yeah, there'll be no going back. There will be no going back. Gary, just as we wrap up, I've really, really loved this conversation with you, and I've learned a lot from listening to you. Just having that just you're so firm in that I need to have some time to myself. Like that just sounded like such a non-negotiable, and I think that is a lesson that I am taking away from this as a mum myself. But I would just like to ask you if we can reflect on the 4 H's. So the 4 H's that I would like to ask you are history. So is there a part of your history that shaped who you are today?
My relationship with my dad, we had such an amazing relationship. I adored him, and I would spend every moment I could with him, and I miss him every day. When he passed away in 2007, and the things that he's missed in my life since. But definitely my relationship with my dad has made me the dad I am today. Definitely. I adored him, and I hope Reggie adores me in the same way.
I'm sure he will, Gary. You've built
Yeah.
some beautiful, and you are building beautiful memories with him. That's so
Yeah, definitely.
beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Heartache. What heartache has helped you grow?
Well, losing my dad.
Oh gosh.
Losing my dad was the biggest heartache, and I do find it hard to find anything sadder in my life since. Keith will say to me sometimes, "Oh, you don't cry at anything," and I'd say to him, "Well, it's not sadder than losing my dad, so it's not worth crying over," kind of thing. The biggest heartache in my life is definitely losing my dad. But it's definitely formed me and made me into who I am today. Made me stronger through things, and I've gone through dreadful relationships that have definitely formed me into who I am today, and lessons learned and stuff. Everything happens for a reason in your life, good or bad.
Yeah, you've just got such a strong mindset around it, Gary. And I have no doubts your dad is so proud of how you are and how that shaped you as a dad as well. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And what hopes do you have moving forward?
Oh God. Well, I just hope that we continue to be an amazing family together, and we grow together, and just I hope we make amazing memories that we'll all have forever, and Reggie will continue to remember even when we're gone. That's what I hope.
I have no doubts that he'll just have piles and piles of photo albums,
Yes.
won't he?
Yes, he
Get
will.
the photo albums out. And hero, who has been the hero along the way?
Oh, Keith,
Who
my
or what?
partner.
Your partner. Amazing.
Without him, we wouldn't have what we have today. He got us through that whole adoption process because it was very, very strenuous. It was very hard on emotions, and it took a lot of work to get through to being approved. So, without his drive and his ability to fill in a million forms, we definitely wouldn't be where we are today. And he's an amazing partner and provider and father and everything. He's great. He's my hero.
Oh, Gary, I just love this. I'm learning so much. Lots of takeaways. I know that there are people that listen to this podcast that are crew and are really struggling with that transition. How can I still fly and be a parent? That returning to work to something that you really love.
Yeah,
What would your advice be?
you can definitely do it as long as you've got that balance at home with your partner, where you've got childcare in place, you've got flexible working agreed if that's what you need. It's totally doable, and you don't need to give up your career, your dream, your life to have a family. You don't. You just got to make it work for you. And, I'm in a very fortunate situation where my income doesn't affect us, but I'm keeping my job for me because I need that time for me. to recharge and come back a better parent. But I just, it's definitely doable. You just got to get everything in place before you maybe go ahead with being a parent, because otherwise it can come as quite a shock, I imagine.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to plan it.
And what I heard you say there, you're in a really fortunate situation where you don't need to work for the money, but you do it because it is something that you love doing and that's important to you, and you're fortunate that your career gives you that time away that you enjoy as well, so it works for you.
It's my identity. It's what I've always wanted to do. I've done it for nearly 14 years now. It's my life. My job is not just a job. It's a lifestyle. It is, isn't it? It's just it's always been my dream. I don't want to give that dream up. And I've got a new dream now of being a father, but I can have both.
And it sounds like you're doing an amazing job of doing it both, and some great lessons in there. And I can hear it's like Dexter snoring in the background.
Oh, could you hear that whole way through? It's Dougie. Yeah, Dougie's snoring away. Just can you
Bless
see him?
him. He's had a long night.
All they do is sleep.
Thank you so much, Gary. And if people, would you be happy sharing where people can find you if they do want to reach out and talk about adoption or flying with children, any of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm happy to do whatever.
Where can people find you? Where do you hang out?
You can find me on Instagram. It's Gary GL, or on Facebook, Gary Garcia Law. You can't miss me. I'm the only person in the world with that combination of names.
I can put the links in.
Put links in.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Lots of love to you and Keith Reggie and the doggies. Thank you for joining me on Mama's Flight Path. I hope today's episode inspired and empowered you. To support the show, please share with a friend and leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. This really helps us reach more mamas. I'd love for us to stay connected. Simply visit the website mamasflightpath.com. See you next week. Until then, fly high and shine bright, mama.